Babu Senan, Santosh Babu Senan, directors and screenplay writers of the film The Looking Glass, Mukha Kannadi. Vipin Radhakrishnan, director and screenplay writer of the film Angammal. Cyril Abraham, director and screenplay writer of the film What You See, Zombie. Am I right? Abhijit Majumdar, screenplay writer and director of the film Body. And Amala Popuri, the producer and sound designer of the film Body. They are with us. They are the guests of the day. We are starting the first round with the introduction. They will speak about their films, their film making experience, the awards they won in any festival, also the film making, the encounter with the film making experience. Also they can speak about funding of the film. If there are instances of funds supported by the financial institutions and crowdfunding even. Also from their own pocket they are spending. Even directors with a small amount, even below 5 lakhs, they are making films with our mobile camera. So that will be an interesting part of this deliberation. They can speak about anything during their introduction. I would like to introduce Ms. Omara Shetty, actor of the film Shameless. It has been shown in Cannes Film Festival, and there are critics acclaim as well as the acclaim from the delegates of Cannes Film Festival. They may add that this film won Warsaw Film Festival Creamy de la Award. So, give her a good hand. So, I may invite Omara Shetty to speak about her film first.
I'm so sorry, sir, but I think why don't we start with the directors first? Why don't we start with the directors first and then come to me so that I have an idea of what...
Okay, that is great. I will invite Babu Senan brothers, Sadish and Santosh. They will talk about their film, The Looking Glass. In Malayalam it is titled Mukha Kannadi. They are familiar to this forum. For the almost all their films were introduced in this forum, the last editions of IFFK, and they will introduce their films. Who is speaking first?
Film writer, director and convener of this session.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for having us here. This film is our 10th film, this Looking Glass, and 5 of our films have been at IFFK. We are glad to show our films here because the local audiences can also watch the film if it's screened here.
The script as if we
this film is actually
already decided.
it's a kind of self-reflexive film. It's
I kind of
what you call meta film. There's nothing new about it. Many people have done that.
Absolutely no.
It's about a filmmaker planning his 10th
But
film.
like they say, the universe.
But the only
stands with
addition
us
we
when
have
a
made to
wish.
that is that it's
It
also a
happens.
self-look at
I already
ourselves
spoke.
as directors, about our concepts, our beliefs, how true they are and how false they are, and how we are liable to be wrong about our ideas, and how we falsely believe that we are right while we are wrong, and things like that. We have tried to be sort of self-critical in that. That is all I can say about the movie. I can also say that it's very slow and most people call it boring. also.
directed by
So that's just just about it.
Sir, I've always, we get a drop of,
Hello.
it was a lesson and
Thank
it was
you
wonderful
everybody for
working
coming
with
here and
Jagdish
wanting
sir.
to listen to us. Thanks to be part of this. As my brother
And I-
Santosh has said, this is
Wonderful
our
working
10th
with
feature film.
Jagdish sir.
And in that, why I say this is not by way of boasting, but it is about a filmmaker
So I will
who is
love you
about to
those
make
kind
his
of
10th
things and
feature.
To name it, it's
So he is thinking about all the 9 films he has made before that. That is what our new film is about. So like he said, it's about self-reflection, you know. What are the kinds of films I'm making, the filmmaker thinks? Was it worth it? Is it good? Should I stop? Things like that. That is what we have tried to speak in that film. You can decide. If you,
So I
if
will
you
love
feel
to
that
those
this is
kind of
enough,
things
you can
and
let us know
to
later.
name it, it's a long list of it.
That's
And,
enough. Thank you. Thank you very much.
So I will love you those kind of things and to name it, it's a
Thank you so much. Their film, Mukhakannadi or The Looking Glass, that is having 121 minutes duration and screened yesterday. It
long
is,
list of it.
In the Malayalam Cinema Today segment. I am making this
Jagdish
statement
sir.
because he
So
said
I will
that
love you
the
those
film
kind of
is
things
boring.
and to name
Boring
it,
means
it's a
that is perspective. Different opinions will be there. Maybe a good film also may also invite the comment, it is boring. That doesn't matter what is your film, that is the most important thing. We people are admiring
So I will love
that
you
aspects, whether the film is a
working with
good film
Jagdish
or
sir.
bad.
So I will
That's
love
all.
you those.
So I would like to invite Vipin Radhakrishnan. He's the director and screenplay writer of the film Angammal. That is in Tamil language. That's also shown in Indian cinema
Working
now
with,
section.
Jagdish sir. So
That,
I will love you
this
those kind of
Tamil
things.
language
And
film is having 117 minutes duration. Vipin Radhakrishnan, please.
Good morning. Thank you for the invitation. My film is, like you said, it's in Tamil language, Angammal. It's an adaptation of Perumal Murugan short story, Kodithuni. It's basically about a son in a rural Tamil Nadu village, a city-educated son, who's trying to make his mother wear blouse because she doesn't wear blouse. That's the idea we adapted from Perumal Murugan short story. It's playing in Indian cinema category now. And this is my second feature. My first feature was in Malayalam. It also premiered in IFFK. So really happy to be back here. Thank you.
Thank you. Are you a Keralite or?
Yeah, I'm from Kochi. I'm Malayali.
Thank you. Is it released in
Same
Tamil
time.
Nadu?
Thank you.
Film is released or?
No. We premiered in Mami, Mumbai. Now after IFFK, we are looking for distribution and get it released in theatre.
Okay, thank you. I would like to introduce Ishan Shukla, the director, screenplay writer, and DOP and editor of the film. Shirkwa, that is In Lies We Trust, is with us. It is from the Kaleidoscope section, screened in other festivals. Kaleidoscope section is films shown in Kaleidoscope and selected for IFFK. It is an English language film with 104 minutes duration. The film won Best Award in Rotterdam International Film Festival.
Thank
Yes,
you.
please.
Yeah. Good morning, and thank you so much for inviting me in this panel. Shirkwa and Lies We Trust is an animated feature film. I started working on it long time back, almost 10 years back, when I started to notice a diversion in the world in which I saw that the world is going in two different directions, which we are seeing blatantly right now, two polar opposites really becoming stronger and stronger. And I thought, why don't I give a spin to George Orwell's 1984, where there is a dystopia, but let's also show the other part. What if the rebellion is there, it becomes successful? What lies beyond it? If people become successful, is there a cycle? Is there rise and fall of civilizations? Is there a pattern in it? But I didn't just want to make a simple film because I'm an animator. So I put a very absurd spin to it. The film lies in a completely fictitious country called Shirkoa, which is a completely fictitious name. And I just thought that if I want to show dystopia, let me show people wearing paper bags on their hats. You may have seen the poster somewhere. So all the people in this world are supposed to wear paper bags, which basically is a metaphor for people losing their identity completely in this world. And as they become freer and freer, they start growing wings and horns. But there is no limit in the free world either. So I'm just trying to show a mirror to our society, what it might become if we keep going this way. And I feel I kind of succeeded in an absurd way. And I'm very happy with the film, the way it is going in the festivals. And I'm also very, very happy that it premiered in India in IFFK. Thank you.
Thank you. The film was screened yesterday. Am I right? Yesterday it was seen. I think delegates here might have seen that film. It is, I may add one or two sentences more. That is, it is on authoritarian control over citizen, relevant to the present Indian political scenario. Everywhere, the world is facing that authoritarian rule, and that is imposing on the citizen. So we can ask questions to him later, the second round. I would like to invite Cyril Abraham, director and screenplay writer of the film. What you see, zombie? Is it? Am I right?
Yes.
The pronunciation.
Yes, right. Yeah.
And this is a Malayalam film in Malayalam Cinema Today section, having 74 minutes duration. It has been shown yesterday or
Yeah.
yesterday it was shown. Please introduce yourself about your experience, and is it your first film?
Hi everyone, my name is Cyril. I'm a second year communication design student, and this is my feature film debut. Yesterday we screened it for the first time. It was nice. I think people liked it. It's about subcultures. It's about a bunch of people going through life wanting to be someone or be something that's far beyond their own reach. And it's shown in a comedic way, but it's also talking about friendships and relationships in a much more deeper sense. So that's all I have to say now. Thank you.
Thank you, Cyril. I would like to invite Abhijit Majumdar. He is the screenplay writer and director of the film Body. It is a Hindi language film having 142 minutes. And I am glad to say that this is competing for Chagoram Awards, and wish all success to Abhijit Majumdar and his team.
Thank you so much, sir. We're extremely glad and happy to be here at IFFK because this is also our world premiere. Yesterday was the first public screening of the film, and we are extremely excited about it. I'd first like to introduce my cast and crew who's also here. So this is my producer and sound designer, Amala.
Give a big hand.
There's Manoj Sharma, who's sitting in the front row, who's the protagonist, the lead actor of the film. Khushbu, one of the other actors. Amol, another actor of the film. Sandeep. We have Jatin Negi, he's also It's a sort of an ensemble cast. I'll talk a little bit about the entire cast and crew, how it happened also. And then there is Vikas, he's the cinematographer of the film. So they are also here, so if you have any questions for them, you can also direct questions towards them. I mean, they can also, they will also be able to answer. This is actually my first proper feature-length film. I've made media-length films earlier. This is my proper feature-length film. And yesterday was the premiere, the world premiere, as I said. This film actually happened over a period of around 10 years or so. We are all from the same film school, FTI. I was a senior student to all of them, the acting batch. And I had gone there to make a diploma film when they were about to graduate. And that's the time I sort of, came to know them. And there was a deep bonding and connection that happened. And since then, we all thought that we'll come together one more time, at least, and try to make something together. And so this process took us about 10 years, and 2.5 years, 3 years were gone in between because of COVID. So it actually was a long journey of 10 years that we took together. So we're all a part of the journey that happened with the film. The film is actually about, it's very difficult to say what it is actually about, really. And if you have seen the film, you will know. But largely, the film tries to trace the journey of a troubled mind of a young person who's an actor by profession. So he's also, navigating through his professional life, trying to negotiate with his personal challenges, professional challenges. But he's also faced with a lot of trauma in recent times. And so he's also trying to deal with those trauma, and incidents in his life keep spiraling in a certain way, and he gets more and more tortured and more troubled. And the film tries to trace that psychological journey of the protagonist. I'll say that much, and if you watch the film, hopefully you'll watch the film. Thank you.
I had introduced the cast and crew of the film. They are here, very happy to be here. And I'm sorry that there is no space to accommodate all of you. And Amala represents the producer as well as the cast and crew of the film, and she is here. She will speak about the film.
Firstly, I would request all of you to watch the film. We are really blessed that we are having the world premiere in this festival. And it's a very deeply felt, and it's a film which is very close to all of us. And we've been, all of the crew and the cast, we've been with the film for a very long time, as Abhijit was saying. And I hope that it shows in the film, the passion behind the film. I hope it shows.
It is boring.
And
thanks
a lot for
what
this.
Is your film? That is the most
this forum
important
for
thing.
us to kind of speak
The
about
people
the
are
film.
admiring
So I will love you.
aspects, whether the film is
with
good film
Jagadish
or
sir.
bad.
So I will
That's
love
all.
you. Those
Now, so I would like to invite Vipin Radhakrishnan. Is the director and screenplay writer of the film Angamma, that is in Tamil language. That's included in the kaleidoscope section shown in Indian cinema now.
Jagadish sir. So I will love you.
This
Those kind of
Tamil
things.
language film is having 117 minutes kaleidoscope duration. Within the film was directed by
Good morning.
Konstantin
Thank you for the
Bojanov.
invitation.
Yes.
And he has also written the
My
screenplay.
film is, like you said,
So,
it's in Tamil language, Angammal.
I
It's an
already
adaptation
stated
of
that
Perumal
this
short
film
story.
won award in the Warsaw
Kodithuni.
International Film Festival Screaming Della Award. Within the film was directed by Konstantin Bojanov.
Hello, everyone.
And he
First
has
of all, thank you
also
so
written the
much.
screenplay.
This is great. I get to sit
Angammal, it's
I
an
with
already
adaptation of
stated
such
that
Perumal
this
cool people. Thank you so much, sir.
International Film Festival
With Shameless,
Screaming Della
Constantine started the process about years back, like plus 10 years plus back, because he was supposed to make a documentary about a Devdasi called Devika, and her bond with her friend, Renuka. And what happens next is that he keeps working on it for 10 years or so, and Devika decides to not cooperate anymore because she can't find her friend. She would only open up to Constantine, who was shooting her, only when Renuka was present. Which then, Constantine then decided, oh, this is not going to happen. Seems like the documentary is not going to happen. But he decides to write a feature-length film, a fictionalized tale of friendship between these two women. How interesting is it that in a day and age, I mean, we've always seen female-led films or male and female-led films or male and what. But here, with this film, there are two females who lead the story and their individual story plus the chemistry that they share with each other. So that was quite intriguing for me from the very beginning itself. As more than a director, I mean, it's me, the director panel, but I can mostly speak as an actor. When the script first came to me, it was so detailed and intricate. Chemistry that what happens with auditions is that you never know what you're auditioning for to begin with. Very beginning. I mean, there's an actor there. He knows very well how it goes, the audition process. So in the beginning, you actually don't know what you're stepping into. That first self-tape that you send in. When the script first came to me, it was so detailed. Here, I get a proper brief of the character, a scene, and a summarized version of the story. The power it gives to an actor is, how do I explain it? I mean, it's immeasurable. There's so much more that you can do with that particular audition. And that's exactly what happened. It was quite intricate of sorts. And that's the moment that I knew that this is the film that I wanted to do. This was a year of auditions, and both me and Anasuya, the other lead of the film, who plays Renuka, also she won the Best Performance Award in a certain regard category at Cannes. So it's her and me leading the film. Now we sit down with the director, and I was selected, shortlisted, selected, the process, you know. Zoom call, everything's set, and we're supposed to shoot the next year. However, funds don't go through. It's just, we are short of funds now. So we are stalled for a year. And, oh God, it was a little heartbreaking, you know, how it is. It was me auditioning for a year, but then think of a director who's been working on it for so many years, putting all of his efforts and pulling all the strings that he possibly could. After a year, we get a call from Constantine, me, Anasuya, and Constantine on a Zoom call. All he does is he smiles a bit like, okay, we are going on floor. We are going on floor. Yeah, that is the kind of feeling that how do you put it in words? When something that's been stalled for so long and something that you guys have worked for so long just comes into fruition. The shooting, the whole process of the production process and then being at Cannes was in itself exhilarating. It was an exhilarating moment for the whole cast and crew. Plus winning the award, it's to be in a space where someone's created an history and then be a part of it and actually witness it from her she's sitting right next to me and then her walking up to the stage. That was quite, yeah. Okay, the film is produced by 4 countries. Taiwanese production, a Swiss production, Akka Films, House on Fire Films, Urban Factory, Indian producers, TPHQ. So a lot of countries have come together to make a film. that's what has gone into it. Yeah.
Thank you, Mara, for your very descriptive statement about the film and your acting process. To Babu Senan brothers, whether Kaladharan is somewhere here? No, not come. Okay. Kaladharan is a versatile actor who has worked with Babu Senan brothers. Okay, the first round is over, and this is the turn of delegates. It is your turn. You can ask questions to particular person sitting on the dais or to the entire guests. You can also ask questions to the crew of the film. If you have seen the film.
It's to you, Cyril. It's to you. When we walked in, it was you who was speaking, so we could hear you onwards. So I have a question to you. You said it's your first film. Can you just? It's not even a question. It's more of. Can you just tell us about your experience of day one of the shoot? What happened on day one? And to be very specific, maybe the first shot. What was your feelings? What was your feeling? And before saying action, what was going through in your head?
Yeah, thank you for the question. Okay, yeah. So before the first shot, we shot the film in a course of 6 days. So we knew that we had to keep it fast. And on the first day, all we planned to do was 3 shots. It's in the same location, so I imagined it could be easy. And we scheduled it from 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. the shoot. But we started by 12 a.m. and ended by 6:30 a.m. So that was the first day of the shoot. So it was not a great start. But then I remember being fairly confident before we went into the first shot, because so I made this film with all of my friends, and I've known them for years, so there's a lot of trust there. And that was enough for me to be confident, because I've made films with them before, worked with them before, I've watched films with them before. I know what they're like, and I know what sort of problems would come up and what sort of things I can count them on for. So I was fairly confident. But the shoot, the problem of time, the problem of how fast we run out of time was something we underestimated. So there was that. But otherwise, it was nice. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Please start your education in filmmaking.
So I don't have any formal education in filmmaking. I just watched movies a lot. I've been watching movies my entire life, so I've always wanted to be a filmmaker. But it wasn't until COVID where I realized that it's something achievable. Till then it was like a dream, like, oh, someday, maybe, you know. But during COVID, I realized that filmmaking, as of now, is very much accessible over anything. It is the easiest point. In history, now is the easiest point to make a film. And it would be such a shame if we don't take advantage of that. And so I knew that at some point in the very near future, I would be making films much more without having to sacrifice my education or put in worry about money. I mean, we did spend, but then I had the support for it. So yeah, so that's how I came into it. My love for films actually came from watching movies with my brother, who's there. He's the editor of the film. His name is Alex. He's a screen name Urudud. This is the first time we actually worked together. But you know, I've known him my entire life. I remember watching movies with him, and for the longest time, I would watch only whatever he watched. I would listen to the music, whatever he listened to. And it wasn't until when he left to college where I realized, okay, I started watching other stuff. But then, you know, there's a lot of influence there. So that's where I started watching films and, you know, got into it. So, yeah.
Ma'am, my question is to you. This was regarding a co-production with a few countries and difference. How would you tell our filmmakers how you work on it and how you get it by? When you have a few country and few funders for the film.
What is the question?
Yeah, the question is, your film had a co-production of a few countries from abroad. How do you actually interact with them and how do you make it happen? The agreements and documents and signing up.
Your collaboration.
Well, I've never been part of the producers side of the bench. So, of how much I can tell you is that of the process I went with the film, Urban Factory, Meiwa, who's the one who, the executive producer of our film, she was in touch with Akka Films, and someone working at Akka Films was friends with Meiwa, and that's how they came on board with the project. Going forward, House on Fire Films decided to do the post-production part of it. That's how they came into picture. And TPHQ came into picture later on when the Cannes announcement was done. The idea was to make sure that it's also out here in India, so that we can also bring the film here in India. And that's when the Indian producers also joined and came on board. So I think a lot of it is about knowing people and wanting to work with people based on what work they have done before and all of that. So I wouldn't say that I'm the right person, but this is what the process was in our film.
If you want, I can chip into that because my film is an official Indo-French film and it is also a co-production with Germany. And to answer the question how to find these people is if you go to different film markets, take your script, try to submit it, and if you get selected, you get to pitch your film to producers, distributors, agents from all over the world. That is how I found my French co-producer. It was in Film Bazaar, Goa. That was in 2019, pre-COVID. And later I found my German producer there. How they participate is something a little bit more complicated. I had to also wear a producer's hat to learn that. It was a very complicated process. But to just give a gist of it, basically every country brings a certain amount of money or some creativity or some participation of an actor or some post-production services, and through that they channel the funds. All right. In Europe, it's basically government funding. You know, you submit it to CNC, you submit it to the region funds, and they give you part of the money of the budget that has to be spent in that respective country. If it's USA or if it's just other countries, it's primarily equity, just like India, in which there is a lot of equity. So we had to find an equity partner in India, which was, there is a film production company, really good one, called Civic Studios in Mumbai. They participated as an equity partner in my film, and then there were some other partners. Still, I could not make the film with all these funds. It was a very complicated thing. And since it was an animation film, I submitted my script to a technical company in the US. It's called Epic Games. And I told them I am using this very wonderful technology. Would you grant me some funds? So I got some funds from the US as well. So it took almost 3 years to just get this ball running. Yeah, but it's complicated, but I think it depends on country to country.
It's great information, and people can associate with the film markets working in different film festivals. India is also having a very successful film market associated with the Goa Film Festival. We can see that the group of number of filmmakers, especially young filmmakers, are rushing to the film market and screening their films making on the stage of film making, and they are getting partners from different part of the world, and they are becoming successful filmmakers. I met two or three participated in 3 years back of this film market Goa, and now this time, last but 1 week, I met him. He told me that he could achieve film making in 1 or 2 films he made. Both of them are very successful. But there is a lab they are working, and they will scrutinize the script and give directions for the film making process. That's a wonderful information Ishan has provided to us. Young filmmakers can do. A person sitting near to me is having no training in filmmaking, but he has made a film that is selected in IFFK. Young man, he has to travel so many years about that. There are so many people attending this festival having films made of a budget of 2 to 3 lakhs or 3 to 5 lakhs and become success even in this mobile phone. Technology has increased to the ultimate level, and further it is going to develop. Artificial intelligence has helped these young filmmakers to go further in making films. Nothing, no fear and anything. We people worked in the analog type. Analog type, big camera and crew of 40, 50 people, and there is a atmosphere of a war. People are shooting. The people seeing the film are, they were driven out, and they are nowhere near the shooting place, and the rushes in one room full of rushes. And the editor, poor man, is taking all these rushes on his shoulder like the serpent. And the assistant is helping to take one reel. To find a shot is very difficult in the shooting editor's table. Finally, after cutting to some 60, 70,000 feet, rushes cut down to 12,000, 15,000 final cut, then adding sound, everything. Dubbing is another process. Now everything has gone on the spot editing. We can do, anybody can do a film, no fear. Yesterday I asked a question to one of the directors present here, what is your cost? Just to know for the audience, she said that it is the involvement of the artists and the producers that is worthless. So we cannot add that to that. But to know that we should have some minus that service. We should know that how much the producers spent on the film. That is a great light to the coming generation. What was your cost?
It was around 3 lakhs.
Good. So that is an experience. Give him a great clap. Okay, I would like to ask a question. One second. Let me finish. If the continuity is broken, very difficult to retrieve that at this age. So I have a question to Ishan. That is, how the politicians, because the film is a political, and how the politicians received your film. Is it directly, the theme is like that, that's why I'm asking. Relevant, it is relevant on Indian politics. that is authoritarian rule, how it is affecting the citizen, different aspect. My understanding is right or wrong, I don't know.
Yeah, so I don't know how politicians receive because I don't think they've seen the film, to be very honest with you. This is where it is premiering, so this is the first time it's being shown in India. But I would say about the politics of the film, I started writing the film, it was in 2011, when in the Middle East, Arab Spring was happening. That was something very monumental for the world. And as I was writing it, as I was just going through the process, by the end of it, which took almost 10 years, if you see all those countries which were doing rebellion, half of them are completely tattered. You know, that was something which is a lesson which has to be taught, which has to be observed, but it takes such long time. Even if you see Taliban, even if you go back to even Greek mythology, even Indus Valley civilization, I thought, let me just not write a film about a particular time. Let me just write about a zeitgeist that can be picked up at any point in time of humanity. That's why I came up with a completely fictitious world, in which, yes, it is relevant today, it is relevant to Indian politics, it is relevant to Chinese politics, it is relevant to Brazilian politics as well. That was my intention with the film. So if you pick it after 10 years, you would still find things which is relatable. And I think it works better because it's animation. So there are no real actors or people you are clinging on to. It's just some fantastical images. So I could just speak my mind much more openly. I hope some politicians see it and give me some views on that.
Thank you. It's relevant to not only to Indian politics or the current world scenario, it would be a relevant issue for the coming days. Yes. Somebody rose there? Yes, please ask.
To Amit Shetty, your experience is a lesson for all budding filmmakers. You explained on the financial constraints you gone through. You stalled the film for 1 year. You delayed it. So it is a great lesson for all to Shetty.
You'll have to repeat the question again, sir.
Your experience in filmmaking, you said that you delayed the film because of fund shortage, finance shortage. You stalled it, and then later you made it because of the CAD intervention. I think so. Somebody intervened in your financing. My question is regarding whether finance strain liberate more creativity or it's a trigger for creating more imaginary films.
I'm very confused about the question.
Whether
that stall, that tiny stall, that's my understanding.
a constraint situation or financial.
After answering this, you can ask.
To be honest, we didn't know if we were going to end up making the film anymore. Like, we'll be honest. But our producers did not, they kept going. I and Anusya both were expecting the movie would happen. But at the same time, we had gone back to living our lives the way we were. As an actor, as any artist, as a director, whoever, anyone working in films, we know that you have to keep going. So that's what we did. Creatively, I also rap in the movie. So I kept taking rapping lessons from this rapper called MC Ham. I did not stop, only because I actually liked doing it, which sort of proved beneficial later on. Yeah.
My question was like, is frugal budgeting a trigger for more creativity on the part of actors and director?
What is this? Could you please?
Well, to be honest, to some extent, yes, because we had more time. But then again, we kept working on it, but still, we had no idea whether the film would happen or not.
Give the mic to front row. There is a question.
I'm Suresh Kumar here from social media, Instagram, and my question is to the dais, all the seniors as well as film director. How much can AI influence in script writing or story?
Yes, Sablash.
I haven't really tried taking any help from AI so far. Maybe in future, so I'll not be able to answer your question, to be honest.
So I have used AI a lot because I work in animation and tech. I've been using it for past 3 years, even before the ChatGPT's most popular version. And so my view on that is it's going to take over things in a very, very big way. And it's not because of the current versions of the AI that we are seeing right now, which is more of an assistant. So a lot of writers these days are using ChatGPT, Gemini, and Claude as their writing rooms. And what that means is good writers give ideas to the AI and they say, just brainstorm with me. What if this character does that? What if he does that? What if she goes there? And then what it is doing is something really groundbreaking at that point. If you ask AI to give a script, I don't think it is there yet, but the way I am seeing the progress, within next 2 to 3 years, if we reach, and I think we will reach AGI, which is artificial general intelligence, it is going to change things in a very big way, and I think we should be ready for a paradigm shift.
I think I'm on the side of, I'm very scared of AI. I don't want, I want AI to do like my dishes. I don't want them to like write my films, So I'm very much wary about the future of art in general with AI. I see so many movies that sort of say it as if it's a good thing, like, hey, this song is written by AI, like as if they are like proud of it, which I find it to be very scary. And AI to me, the fact that what you saw with generative AI last year and comparing it with what it is now, the change is quite fast, and that is very scary. So in any AI can help in making things more efficient. Like if you're exporting something and then you want it quicker, then I'm sure AI can help. But when it comes to creating new things, when it comes to taking a picture, when it comes to writing a new scene, I think you can't let go of your own imagination. I think AI should not replace that. So.
I think one of the finest things happening today is AI. And no, we don't use AI to make our films. But, the world belongs to the future, to the youth. That is why I'm quite excited with what Cyril is doing. He's so young. He's probably my daughter's age, I think. So, to be able to make a film, and the future belongs to the youth, AI also belongs to the youth. So what I think is right now, if you make a film, if you give a prompt to AI and ask them to give you a script in the style of Tarkovsky, it will. And you can also get AI to make the film, all the scenes. The only way, maybe 5 or 6 months back, I realized that the way I can make out that this has been done with AI is that there are a few extra fingers on somebody's hands, which now when I check is not there. So in 6 months, if fingers can go, and everything can come back to normal, I am very excited to see what will happen in 1 year, maybe 5 years from now. Now if you make a film using AI, you will have to hide it. But tomorrow it's going to be like Photoshop, Nobody is going to think that, if you are not using AI in your creativity, then you are being very old-fashioned. This is going to happen in the next maybe 4 or 5 years. We have to welcome it. So Cyril, don't be afraid of AI, use it. But you are the maker, and I don't know how you are going to use it. I'm not even asking you to use it. I'm just suggesting that we should never fear the growth of technology. That is what has helped you to make this film. When we were your age, we set out to make a film in our 20s. But the budget was prohibitory, we just couldn't. So when digital filmmaking came, that is what helped us to make these films. AI will also help us. If, God forbid, we continue to make films, AI will help us. I don't know how. But if it doesn't, then we are going to be very old-fashioned and we'll be out. I think we have to welcome that change. And all the taboos that go with AI will be gone in the next 1 year, is what I think. Thanks.
In the digital era, everything is possible. But script writing is something that should come from a creative mind. So we can make amendments or changes in the script to help them for the help from the AI. I had a trial in Gemini as well as in Copilot about this creative things, but failed miserably because they are giving some artificial output. Our input, our mind, they cannot read it. It may improve. These are Microsoft is making this Copilot, and the other one is making this Gemini, and so many 4 or 5 successful AI outputs are there available. We can use it freely now. They will come. They will sell it to us. That is another thing. If you are fully depending on AI for making scripts and other things, they will ask us payment. That is their basic nature of these corporates. So we can expect for the future improvements and other things for helping filmmaking other things. Now the editing and other things, everything is depending on the machine learning thing. Machine learning is the update science. We have to depend. The other thing, everything manual, everything, the fully involvement of the person has gone. Any other question? The time to, no question. Anything? Still last chance. We have, yes.
Just another. I think that we were talking about making films using AI, but I think in 10 years from now, AI will be watching our films. It is not that we'll be making films. AI will be watching our films, and what are we going to look like, The future is so bright, and we are very lucky to be living at this time and, these times when so much is happening. I'm hoping that I'll be alive for at least 10 more years because I want to see all this happen. Thanks.
Yes. Yes, please.
I think filmmaking and script writing is such a internal and also could be soul-searching process that I cannot right now conceive of a time where AI is doing all of that for us filmmakers and scriptwriters, etc. Because it is so internal and so coming from the soul, I feel, that it's going to be something revolutionary if that happens, that films are being made by AI and films are being scripted by AI. And also, it's such a collaborative process, filmmaking is such a collaborative process that I cannot, the human element and the psychological processes involved in filmmaking, we cannot deny those. So I think it would be really revolutionary if it's AI making the films for us. Yeah.
It would be a good collaboration of both.
Sorry?
Collaboration of both. Human
Yeah, it could
mind
be
and
for
the
sure.
technology.
It could be for sure. But I think
In the
human beings have to generate those briefs and codes and whatever.
That has to be evolved coming. Yes.
Sounds like doomsday.
What I feel is that filmmaking as we know it today is going to end. It's going to be a completely different thing, and it has to be. It cannot go on like this, and it always happens. So what I feel is that our definition of creativity will have to change. I think it will. What we call creative now will cease to be creative because that will be done by AI. But it's not that we are going to keep quiet and just watch AI do everything, but we will create a different kind of creativity. That is what is probably going to happen. It's just like when Photoshop came, people thought that using Photoshop is being less creative. But now nobody thinks that using Photoshop is legitimate. But there's a different kind of creativity. I think that's what's going to happen in filmmaking also. What we see now will end. There'll be something new. That's what I feel, you know.
Okay, thank you. We are.
May I chip in, sir? Sir, may I chip in?
Yes, please. Yes.
I think AI generate, like at this moment right now, you see in social media, there are AI generated content, right? So I believe probably in near future, we might not lose on, I mean, cinema stays, but then we'll start making, there will be another section altogether, another world altogether, where it will be AI generated movies. I mean, that could also be a possibility. A little, yes, it's a little scary when you see Jenna Ortega dancing on on reels. But at the same time, I'm also hopeful that if used the right way, in a better way, it's going to be only useful for us, and maybe we can generate a different market altogether.
Okay, thank you. Ishan, anything to add on this? No. Anybody? Any comments? On AI? No. Anything?
I haven't used AI for like filmmaking, but I feel nowadays one good thing AI does for me is like it helps not only for me, fellow filmmakers, I've seen it helps creating pitch decks. That's one good thing. Like everybody creates pitch deck in AI using AI now. Next thing, for a person who is not very good with grammar and all, it helps you correct the grammar and look at polished. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, friends, thank you for your inputs on AI. Any questions? Last question, last round. Anything important? If it is important, we can have it. Yes.
So my question largely is not really about anything to do with the creative aspect of filmmaking, but just to kind of open up this possibility of the funding ecosystem that one of the gentlemen was asking about the co-production setups that are around. They've been around for decades now. It's just that now it's just being brought up in the foreground. But I would really want Amla and Abhijit to talk about the complete alternative mechanism through which they funded their film. And it would be a very different kind of possibility that could be explored, which has always been around in the filmmaking practice for across the world, but seldom used and used very, and if used very carefully, I think it can do wonders.
That is an interesting question.
Since it's the funding aspect, as a producer, I can start to talk about it. Firstly, I think this film getting made for us is a big deal. It is completely, we didn't get any government funding or anything. We had really struggled to find something, and one thing that we got was crowdfunding. The idea, it really, we struggled with the idea because the concept of the film is also has its, its reach, and, it can be kind of, people understand, the concept is of a boy gets bullied and how it impacts him and what he does to kind of come out of the trauma of the multiple traumas of being bullied and, his personal traumas as well. So crowdfunding was one thing that really helped us. Friends, filmmakers, people who didn't know us, who just came to know about the concept through social media, and friends of friends, and people who wanted to be associated with, nurturing a film like this one. So crowdfunding really created the space where we could start thinking about shooting the film. And like in old times, there are patrons of cinema who really want to be associated with films and want to be in that process. So we also found a private funder who put in 1/3 of the funding of the budget of the film. And it was entirely the the benevolence of friends, our actor friends, our colleagues, and our crew, and everybody else who kind of felt that this film needed that support and needed to be made, and I think that the value and the trust and the camaraderie that they have brought into the film, I think that I don't believe in AI. I think it's completely human. It has to be human, and it's a very small film, and small films like Cyril's, I think it's a bigger film than that, but yet we have been groping about funding. We have put in our own funds. Funding it yourself or through crowdfunding, it essentially means that you're alone in many ways. But yet you also have the creative freedom to do things the way you want, and you just have to be convinced and believe in the project.
No, I have nothing to add.
Is there something
Anything else to add?
No. Yeah, I mean, she has mentioned, I think, all the points. I don't really have anything to add. Yes, it's an extremely modest and a small film, and crowdfunding sort of opened up a completely different world for us, because we figured that we can be completely free. We are not working under any pressure from any other party who's saying that make the film like this or make the film like that. This is what works for us, or this is what works for them. So it was, I don't know whether it's a great thing, whether it's a fantastic, whether it's the best thing or not. Maybe a little bit of control is required sometimes. But this freedom also is exceptional, and that's the way we worked, and we enjoyed working like that. And there was this an extremely kind gentleman who also chipped in with 1/3 of the budget, as she has mentioned. And we are extremely lucky that he didn't expect anything in return. That's what he said. He said that I'm making an investment to understand how cinema works, and I'm putting in some amount of money. And we made it very clear that this will not have much of future. This film is like really a sort of a, it will operate within the margins. It will never come into the mainstream scenario. He said it's okay, just go ahead and make the film. We also kind of emptied our bank accounts. You missed out on that point. So this is how the film got made. I think the quality of freedom that comes with this kind of a process is absolutely exemplary and exceptional. I would recommend it any day, crowdfunding. It was absolutely,
I wanted to say that we have been with the film after finishing the film for about a year, and this is a world premiere, and we are very happy with how it has culminated, what it has culminated into. And but we had to struggle because we didn't have typical conventional funders. We also had to struggle probably a bit more with finding the space for the film. It's a flip side of the self-funding.
Okay.
Please come and watch the film. That's the final thing that we want to say. It's screening on the 16th at 6 p.m. at Kalabhavan, and on the 19th at 11 a.m. at Kairali. Please come if you can.
Thank you, friends. Thank you for coming. Balu Giriyath, vote of thanks.
On behalf of the 29th International Film Festival of Kerala, Kerala State Chalachitra Academy and Department of Culture, Government of Kerala, I thank all the film dignitaries and all present here for this, the second day of this session. I especially thank Meera Sahib sir for making this very live session. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.